Maheshwariye Namaha. My pranams to Amma, Sri Mata Amrita Devi, without whose grace such beautiful events like this cannot take place. It is because of her grace that all of us are here, that all of you are graduating. So you have now finished your exam phase and you're going to go out into the real world to solve real problems. So before that, I want you to look back and understand that you've had such a wonderful experience here. You've been taught by some of the best faculty that you can interact with. At least 5 faculty from these three schools have made the top 2% of scientists in the world in their respective fields. I think that's a real amazing accomplishment. So this is the value that you have experienced. And let me say some very positive things as you look ahead. You are all the 1% of the people in India who are getting a PG degree, and 8% of all people in India who are getting a UG degree. So essentially, you are absolutely the cream of the cream of the crop. You are the folks who have made it this far, educated yourself this much, and come this far looking ahead at the future. Let me give you some interesting data for you to mull over. If you look at the top companies in the world, Microsoft, Google, Twitter, IBM, all of those companies' CEOs are Indian. If you look at the CEOs of Fortune 500 companies, 30%, a whopping 30% of them are Indians. Is that amazing? 10% of all high-tech companies in the world have Indian CEOs. 1/3 of all Silicon Valley engineers are Indian origin. 14% of Silicon Valley startups, 14% are from Indian origin scientists. And if you look at all the startups in the United States, and there are a lot, 7% of them are startups by Indians. Okay. Isn't that an amazing statistic? So we have a lot to be proud of. We have tremendous capacity. We should never think, what do I do? Where do I go from here? There will be people who might say that, well, India doesn't have a good ecosystem that encourages active research and innovation, that we don't innovate enough products in this country, we don't ideate enough, that we are followers and we are not leaders. That is changing. You know that during the Corona period, India was the leader, the vaccine capital of the world. We innovated vaccines. We didn't copy vaccines. We innovated vaccines and we made more vaccines than any other country in the world, and we exported them to Europe. So the capacity in India is substantially changing. The number of startups in India has exploded. There are so many young people who are actually interested in starting companies, contributing to the society with cost-effective products that are very innovative. And just the other day, I want to mention, I met a young entrepreneur who graduated in India. He and 3 others started a company called Log9. You might have heard of it. They innovate energy products. And his company and himself and his 2 partners, all of them are homegrown scientists from India, featured in the MIT technology list of innovators under 35 in the world. So we cannot just say that innovations and successes happen outside India. and we just follow. We are in a place where we are innovating, we are driving, we are leading. It is possible. So we should get rid of that kind of an idea. And even in my field of nanotechnology, then we in India are number 3 in the world in publications in the field of nanotechnology, next only to US and China. So the productivity in research has gone up in very cutting edge areas. So what I would say, and we just talked about the 2% scientists, the number of scientists featuring in top 2% list are growing exponentially by the year in India. So you can see that our environment, our ecosystem is changing dramatically. And we can and we must succeed, and we can do it here in India. So I'm not saying I didn't give you all that data about the US to suggest that you should all go there and succeed. What I'm saying is that you have that potential, you have that capacity, and you can succeed here. So don't wait for the right environment. Create the right environment. Ideate, innovate, and create. That's what you have to do. You have finished taking exams. Now you have to ideate, innovate, and create, and give our country the strength of your talents, your innovativeness, your brilliance that the world has already seen for the past many decades. So, what are some of the, I'll end with, what are some of the few things you should remember? We must have confidence. We are not followers. You should never think of yourself as followers. You are leaders. And you should move forward with confidence. You have to have the freedom and the independence to explore new ideas. That's what I meant by ideate. To think out of the box. No idea is crazy. Every idea is great. You just have to follow it through and follow your heart, which means, and we have, what we have is a hashtag in Twitter called Stop Following the Crowd. Means that you have to follow yourself. You have to follow your heart. Your passion to succeed is what is going to matter. And that's what is really important here. And finally, if you want to make a contribution to society with your talents, you have to have, and this is what Amma always says, you have to have compassion. If you don't have compassion, then how will you be motivated to find a solution to solve a problem? If there is a problem, let's say water scarcity or water purity or energy problem, the real motivation to solve that problem is driven by compassion. And Amma teaches us that we must drive our lives through compassion. Our career must be motivated by compassion. Because when that compassion is there, the intuition comes up, you become creative, you think independently, and that is the magic of success. We can do that here in India, I think, better than any other place. Look at what Amma has done in our country. She has inspired tens of millions of people to rise above ordinary, mundane life and make contributions in their own way, in a significant way, to change the lives of others. And she did it here in India after being born in a nondescript small fisherman's village, a woman with only an education up to 4th grade, and made such a huge impact here in our country and made a difference. We have not only our big super specialty hospital here. We have a 2,600 bed specialty hospital in Delhi that Prime Minister Modi himself came to inaugurate. What an extraordinary contribution. We can at least be inspired by that and seek to go beyond our limitations and have that confidence. So with those few words, I once again express my heartiest congratulations to all of you. I look forward to great successes on your part, and we'll stay always in touch. Om Namah Shivaya.